Starting. It says we're live.
Are we live?
Are we live?
Can everyone see us?
There's a little bit of lag, so we should
All
come up
right.
soon.
Oh. Can everyone see us?
Ooh. And now we're going to immediately turn it off so that we don't get annoyed. But we're live!
Hello!
Hi, everybody!
Hello.
Oh, no.
We're going to
Immediately turn it off so that we don't. But we're live!
Hello!
Peyton, do you have it playing in the background?
I do. I'm trying to turn it down. There we go.
It's okay. It's okay. Hi, everyone.
Hi! Unicorn Frenzy, no, but we're super excited about it.
Indeed. So, kind of a special day because
Indeed.
we are joined by the ever so lovely Payton Knight. We're so excited. Yes. Because of the way that we're streaming today, there's a little bit of lag time. So you guys are going to be seeing us probably like 3 seconds after we say things. So we'll just all have to account for that.
Indeed.
But that's just something to be aware of. But yeah. So there are 3 of us here today. And we're all just going to have a nice time.
Indeed.
Peyton will not be here the whole time, but she is graciously joining us for about 30 minutes or so.
Yep.
Yep.
So I think what we should do to start off is just kind of introduce everybody to you, Peyton.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, ooh.
No pressure.
Oh God. Well, my name is Peyton. I played Chloe. Let's see. I am an apprentice at a tattoo studio. So yeah, I guess that's kind of like Chloe in a way. I like art too. I'm really into art, really into drawing and photography and stuff like that. So I'm just a little weirdo, I guess.
I think it's worth noting that all the little like Chloe drawings in the movie you created. Those are your drawings. I'm not sure if everyone knows that, but like,
yeah. And all the posters, if they're defaced, I did that. So
it's true. Very true. So yeah.
Oh, and the cat that's in Dawn is my actual cat, Zero.
It's your cat.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The photo
is my real cat. He's
Indeed.
awesome. Oh, I will definitely say hi to Zero. Definitely.
Aw. Oh, super cool. Yeah. So I guess we can just kind of talk about how you got involved with the project.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I guess.
Sure. Definitely. Yeah. So when I was living in California, actually, Carrsan and I became friends on social media. And I saw that he was working on What If at the time. But when I came back out here, he was starting to do like the finish up on Dawn, and then shortly after was doing auditions. And I didn't like go to the live audition or anything like that. Actually, he asked me if I would want to audition for the part, and so I did a video audition, and surprisingly enough, he enjoyed it. It worked, and then from there it just fell into place.
Yeah. And totally not surprising.
No.
I would not say that. You like right off the bat, Carrsan showed me just your social media presence, and we found some of your like old YouTube stuff, and we were like, yeah.
Ooh.
Well, and it's funny because the 2 of us did not know each other. So I just I saw your profile picture, was like, oh, this person really looks a lot like Chloe in Before the Storm. And it just kind of worked out.
It really did, honestly. And like, it was really nerve-wracking because I used to I went to a performing arts magnet school in middle school. So like, and then I've been doing plays since I was in kindergarten. So I was always in acting and always like a part of that. I did auditions in LA when I was growing up, and just like always been a part of that culture. But when I got into high school, things kind of changed. My life kind of changed, and I wasn't able to be a part of it as much. So this was like a great opportunity. I've never been a lead in anything. I never done anything like this. I've never had to like give so much of myself to a project, and so I think that that's why this is so special and so important to me.
Definitely.
Yeah, and you completely embodied Chloe, which
Absolutely.
was.
I hope people perceive me well. I'm really nervous about that. I know that Mads was a weight in people's heart, and a lot of people love her or them as Chloe, and so I just hope people take me as like a new Chloe and aren't trying to compare me against them, because it's not a comparison. I think that we each did our own take on Chloe, and I hope that everybody appreciates both of them.
Definitely. Yeah. And that's something we talked a lot about too when we were starting to cast Dawn, is that, yeah, the stories align, obviously, because it's the same universe and the same characters, but we didn't really want them to be... We wanted them to stand on their own.
I wanted Dawn to like work as a prequel to What If, but I did not write Dawn to necessarily be a prequel to What If. I wrote Dawn as its own coming of age story, just knowing that people who saw What If would know what happens next. So,
yeah. I do love Kingdom Hearts, by the way. I get that a lot. I love Kingdom Hearts. There is a picture of me as Pirate Chloe on the Dawn page. I'm wearing a Kingdom Hearts shirt in that too. I love Kingdom Hearts. I've been a big fan of them all my life.
Sure. It's true.
True. They're great.
Yeah. So I saw somebody ask a question in there that was basically, did you know anything about Life is Strange before auditioning?
Oh, yeah. So that I actually hadn't. I've been a big Square Enix fan all my life. Like I said, Kingdom Hearts is my shit. But I hadn't known much about it at all. And so when they contacted me, I definitely wanted to learn more about younger Chloe before putting myself into the film, because I felt like I couldn't really do it as somebody who didn't know much about the game. So I did play Before the Storm. I haven't completed the original Life is Strange, but I did play Before the Storm and tried to embody Chloe in some parts of the movie. So I hope some parts you see that I definitely tried to bring a little bit of game Chloe in there. But yeah, I actually really, really love young Chloe. And now that like I've been a part of this, like I really, really do. I have a big connection to young Chloe and the prequel.
Yeah, definitely. It was the same for me. Before I auditioned for Max, I didn't know anything about Life is Strange. So I had to kind of go through that same process of like really diving in and doing
and like kind of seeing how they are, and then kind of seeing how you are in comparison to them. Right. That's a big thing, and putting yourself in that like mindset.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And finding those characters in yourself, I think, really is the important part.
Yeah, for sure. And finding like similarities, like things that you can connect with your character on. Like I was so stoked when they were like, oh yeah, Chloe's super artistic. I was like, what? Really? Like that's so much fun. Then I can bring that into the movie. That's super awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, and we were stoked that you allowed us to use your art and stuff in the movie.
Like that's so fun. Like that is.
Well, that's something that's really important to me as a director too. I like to allow the actors to embody as many aspects of the character as possible. So the fact that we got to use your actual art for your character was really, really cool.
Yeah.
It adds that level of authenticity.
Exactly.
Yeah. Awesome.
Indeed.
Did I wear contacts when playing Chloe? No, I didn't. I was blind the whole time. I have really bad eyesight, but that's why I got a lot of bruises, actually. I did not realize them.
Did your leg heal okay?
I didn't get tetanus, so
okay, good.
That's awesome. I have the scar still from it.
You do?
Yeah, like okay, I don't know if you can see. I don't know. It's right here, but
you kind of see.
Jeans on.
I'm so sorry.
No, it was a total accident. It was a total accident.
Oh man. Holy moly. Well, at least you didn't get tetanus.
That's true. At least I didn't die on set, so I was able to finish the film, so that was great.
Yeah. My God.
That's the
That was
important
a
thing.
scary moment. By the way, I just want to acknowledge Unicorn Frenzy just said they're driving 12 hours to come see the premiere.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Really, really cool.
That is so cool. Oh
We
my
can't wait
God.
to see you.
It's going to be
I know.
awesome.
I'm really excited to meet fans, I think, at this premiere, because I feel like a lot of people are planning on coming and driving like a pretty good distance.
Yeah, that's so insane. It's so crazy that this has like touched people like that. You know what I mean? Like to be a part of something that people actually really love and like want to be a part of. It's crazy.
Yeah, we're like constantly blown away by
the
just
support.
What a reach
like just
we've gotten.
It's weird thinking about that. Like, I don't know, it's odd because like we've talked about before, we're not super well known locally, so like just existing and living daily life and also thinking like, we made this crazy thing that people love, but it's a surreal kind of double life of this, what we're doing right now, and also just life in Cedar Falls, Iowa.
Exactly.
Like
all right, so people are kind of asking about the premiere since we mentioned it briefly, but we don't have public information about the premiere right now, but the live premiere and the online release are going to be on the same day, and they're actually going to be kind of like a joint event, which will be exciting.
We got some cool plans,
but we'll have more information about that. I don't know, Payton, if we can just like ask you like what was your favorite scene to film or things like that, because
what was your favorite non-spoilery moment for playing Chloe?
Oh,
I guess
the junkyard scene, definitely. I think that I was like, I still have the bat from the junkyard scene. I took it. What's up? But, no, that was so much fun. Breaking things is difficult. More difficult than you would imagine, but it worked out. So
you did it so well.
It looks so good.
I hope I look angry enough.
You do.
You do. It's awesome.
That whole sequence turned out really, really well. So.
Yeah. So I'm so excited.
A lot of people have kind of like, I'm like, just to sum up a lot of the same type of question, like, how do you like connect with Chloe, or like, what do you think you and Chloe have in common? That kind of thing.
So Chloe, like, this is why young Chloe just definitely holds so much in my heart, because when I was 16, I was a lot like Chloe. My dad didn't die, but my dad wasn't a part of my life, and me and my mom didn't have a relationship, and I didn't have any friends, and I was kind of like just a little emo piece of garbage, and I was really confused and angry in life, and felt like there was a lot of stuff that like I had no control over. So I wanted to find control other ways, and I wasn't good in school. I was failing, and so to play a character in a different part of my life that was similar to another part of my life was super difficult. But I think that that's why I love Chloe so much, is because I just like, I know to an extent some of the things that she was feeling, and so that just means a lot to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and your personal connection to Chloe definitely came out in your portrayal.
Yeah, I feel like some parts I definitely had to put myself back in that mind space of being 16 and being really angry at life. I never yelled at my parents though, so that's the only difference between like me and Chloe. I did not have a backbone at all, and I could not cuss at my mom. I could not yell at my mom. That was just not a thing I could do. But
yeah, Chloe's a little more brazen sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm a lot more meek, I feel like, than Chloe. But I feel like as I've grown, I've gotten to be a little tougher in the way I like hold myself.
Yeah. But I feel like that's a lot of this whole movie is kind of, you know, you watch these characters and think about the fact that they are 16.
Yeah.
Like they're all just young and confused and pissed off. And the movie kind of has that tone. I mean, I remember Luke, my friend Luke. I was hanging out with him yesterday, and the one thing he said is like, the trailer's amazing. It's so sad, and it's like, yeah, like this movie has that kind of desperate young feel to it of just like people trying to find their way in the world.
Right. Just being confused and like feeling like you had no control in anything that happened to you, and just trying to figure out life and who you are, and becoming a person, you know, your own person.
Yeah, absolutely.
Somebody asked, what was the most difficult non-spoilery scene to film?
The most difficult.
It's hard when we can't like.
Yeah, like
I know. Well,
I mean, I
the
guess I mean,
live
like the
stream
most difficult thing about being Chloe, maybe.
Yeah. I think the most difficult thing was again, like I said, putting myself back in that headspace of like when I was younger, like, because I feel like there's certain scenes in that movie where I had to like take myself and be like, okay, you're not you have to be Chloe, like you have to be angry or upset about this thing the way she would be. And like having those feelings, like when you're a teenager, the feelings are so much more real, I feel like, than when you're an adult, because like you're not validated at all. And so like having to put yourself back in a position where you have no control, that like whatever you say doesn't matter because you're a kid, that you can't like tell your mom to get rid of that terrible guy that's ruining your life, and you can't bring your dad back, and like you're just so angry. Like putting yourself into that was, I think, the hardest part.
Yeah.
And I think having to play where like my dad was dead and like we were really close, that was another thing that was hard too, because that's not like my life at all.
Yeah, absolutely. I also saw another question that somebody asked, which was, how hard was it for you to memorize lines, and what was your process for that?
So, what I did is, so because I was Chloe, I'm in pretty much the majority of the movie. I had to be there every day for filming.
Yep.
So the script was pretty daunting when I first got it. I was like, oh my God, I've never done anything like this before. I'm never going to have any of these memorized. There's no way. Like, I'm going to ruin everything. So what I did is, for like the last month before filming, I read the script every day, the whole script every day, and just like sat there and read it. I highlighted all my lines. I like would go through the scenes and play as Joyce and then me, and play as Cassie and then me, or you know what I mean? So it was definitely trying to get them in my head, but I did not have them all by the time we were filming, you guys. We definitely
the vast majority of them.
You were like, so solid on your line.
I feel like the live improv, you really couldn't tell.
Well, I mean, like, I'm such a short-winded writer. I mean, and every other line is totally not a monologue. You know. It's fine.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you don't have to memorize a lot. No. Important character, no.
Yeah. No, you did great. I mean,
seriously, yeah.
Yeah, your line memorization was ridiculously impressive.
I just did not want to be like the person who didn't have it. And then, because again, when you're filming all day every day, like I had to be ready to spend all day filming, and you can't spend 6 hours on a scene if you don't know your lines. Like, it's just not possible, especially for Chloe, and you're like going to be in everything, so you have to get as much as possible down before you're there.
Yeah, it is difficult sometimes that we don't have the luxury of just like spending all day on one scene.
Exactly. And when you're in the summer heat, like you do not want to be out there longer than you have to. You're just like ready to do what you need to do and be who you need to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because people are asking now, like, how many days do we film and how many hours a day? And I would say it was about 2 weeks.
8-hour days ish, I would say, on average.
Days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, just in general, what was it like working with Cassie, and what are like some of your favorite or funny moments that you had?
Oh wow. So Cassie and I actually, I think we got along really quickly on set. And I think that you can definitely see that like we did have a connection. So like the thing is like, so Cassie's a lot like more like very Rachel Amber, very out there, like very I am super personable and I can talk to anybody and talk about anything, and so like that is really intimidating for me. But once somebody kind of just like starts talking to me, it's super easy for me to get into conversation with them. And so we we had lots of scenes where we were just improvising with each other and yelling at each other, and we had the Beetlejuice was a running joke.
Oh my God.
Us. We tried to say it 3 times, and if you said it more than 3 times, if you were one person had to say it, and then if it was said more than 3 times on set, you were got.
Yeah, the person who said it 4th time got.
Yeah, you got.
But yeah, I mean, just like offset, like we were able to like talk and like hang out. We're similar in age, and you know, like we have a lot in common, and so we were just able to like chat about anything. And it was nice to have somebody that you could hang out with on set and then offset, who both of your characters, I guess if you're considering yourself as a character, collided well. I don't know. I can't speak really well, you guys.
It's okay.
No, right now, so I don't know how to speak.
You're good. No, yeah, the connection between you and Cassie was super solid.
Yeah. There were
and
a lot
it played so well on screen.
Yeah,
you guys did great.
My little sister, when she was watching the trailer, like the scene where where I'm like on her shoulder, like falling down by the rocks or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh my God, that looks so good. Like I was like, I know. We were actually like laughing with each other. It was real.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was one of my favorite things about filming in general, was just like the genuine connection that you guys had, and
just watching you guys play every day was super fun.
Yeah, I definitely feel like we clicked really well on it. And we were able to breeze through scenes so quickly. Like Celine said,
oh my God.
We could rock and roll through scenes so quickly, and that was super awesome too, because like we were both able to get into our characters and be able to work really well with each other and like play off of each other really well. So that was super easy.
Yeah, that was awesome. Which of your Chloe outfits did you like the most? Somebody asked.
I'll be honest, my Tempest outfit, because my mama made it. And I love it.
So cool.
I love it. I love you. Hey.
It's so cool.
It was so awesome. DeRay did such an amazing job on the Tempest. You know what? Actually, let me just. I don't know if you
have pieces of it.
What's up? It's hanging in my.
Oh my God! Look at that.
Yeah. So, that was definitely my favorite costume of it. I thought it was so identical to the game, and I thought it just worked so well. And she hand sewed beads on it. It was just amazing. Literally just a piece of work. It was amazing. Yeah. I love you, DeRay. I love you so much.
Yeah, my mom worked real hard on ththose costumes.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Incredible.
So good.
Amazing. Like, you guys are in for a treat because she did such an amazing job.
Well, and it was crazy how fast those costumes came together, because like I obviously was over here a lot, and it'd be like one day I would come over and it'd be like, okay, and we're working on like the belt that goes on Cassie's costume. And then like it seemed like within the next day it was like, all right, the costumes are almost done, and individual beads were getting sewn on, and they're gorgeous. They're such cool costumes.
I have all of the costume. I have the entire Tempest costume. That is something I will keep forever. I want to get a shadow box and put it in there.
Oh,
it's literally my favorite thing ever. It's like my favorite keepsake from the film. And besides my little Chloe doll.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yes, little Chloe doll. Somebody asked.
Somebody finally noticed.
Someone finally noticed. Yeah. We were waiting for the first person to notice that little Chloe doll is in the trailer.
Yeah, there's a tiny Easter egg in the trailer when Chloe slams her hands on the bed. There's a little Chloe doll.
I had her in my pocket during filming. She was my buddy.
So I don't even think we did that on purpose at the time, but it's there, and it's honestly,
like, I gotta keep it. She's my fave. I love her.
Yeah.
So awesome.
Indeed. Somebody asked how did you prepare for like the more difficult emotional scenes, like scenes where you had to cry or scenes where it was like kind of heavier? What was your process for that, or what was your method for preparing for those kind of scenes?
You definitely have to separate yourself. Like, just take a second and be like, okay, if I'm gonna have to cry in this, like, I actually have to take a second. I have to get there. And so what I try to do is, some people are like, oh, think of like sad things. Like, no, just think about what's happening. Like, that's sad. Like, if you're supposed to feel something in that, think about the scene. Think about how Chloe would have felt hearing certain things or seeing certain things, and you have to take it as your character. So you just have to take a minute and you're like, okay, I am not me, I am her right now. I'm going through this as she would feel it. And that's kind of how you have to prepare yourself. I don't really want to think about sad things. I don't want to think about like dead animals or anything like that. So I try to avoid that whole scenario.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, that's a fun question, because we actually know the answer, but we want you to talk about it. Did you have blue hair before playing Chloe?
To be honest, hell yeah. I've had every color imaginable. I was a real big scene kid in high school, so I've been coloring my hair since I was about 15, and yeah, I've had every color. Blue is my favorite hair color ever. But I also I had a vampire red once too. That was really cool. So, but I have freckles, so it makes me look really red if I have red hair. So blue hair is where it's at. I love blue hair. It's faded right now because I'm gonna change it. It'll be a surprise, but yeah.
Ooh. Watch for that.
Interesting question, just kind of in general. I think, Payton, this is something you can attest to as well. The game has like the backtalk feature. So somebody asked, did we use that? And like, of course, not explicitly, like you're not going to see it pop up on the screen. But I think we certainly tried to like add in Chloe's kind of and ability to get through to people and argue with people. In a very creative way.
At one point, we were at one of the actors' houses for filming, and I had to scream at them, and I had to, after, be like, I'm so sorry for screaming at you in your house because I don't want to do this. I don't like yelling. But yeah, and like just any yelling scene, yeah, it gets into some bickering arguments for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Just a fun question somebody asked. Halloween's coming up. Are you going to be Chloe for Halloween? And if not, what you going to be?
Oh man, like Chloe would be just so easy. I didn't even think about that, but that is actually what I can do. I don't know. I was maybe thinking about Z from Monster House, but
oh yes,
I don't know. I don't know. I usually just throw something together like a day before Halloween or something like that if I dress up, but I don't know. Give me ideas. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's still a while away. I can figure it out.
That's true. You got time. Any other questions?
I've seen a lot of questions like directed more at us, and we can address those later. Any other big questions for Payton before I'm going to say, Payton, if there's anything else that you really wanted to say or talk about or anything like that, the floor is certainly yours.
I mean, definitely I addressed the whole, I hope you guys don't compare previous Chloe to new Chloe, because that's just, we're all different. We all take everything differently, and I hope you like us both. And yeah, I feel like that's pretty much all I got. I mean, if anybody has any questions or whatever, I'll probably come join another live stream, and maybe we can stream after the film releases and answer actual questions now that you guys will know them, and we can write more stuff.
We can do that for sure.
Exactly. We are, I think now that we know how to do this, I think after the movie comes out, we'll try to get like a big chunk of the cast all
That would be
together
so
Yeah.
fun.
and do it? Because that'd be awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm down.
So that's probably what we'll look for after the movie comes out in December.
Heck yeah. I'm so down.
Cool.
I saw someone say how old I am. I'm 23. I definitely look though like a 16-year-old. So
Yeah, it's funny because when I initially cast you, I didn't know how old you were. So it was like, like
a lot of people. Yeah, I got asked actually last year. I took my nephew into register him for 8th grade, and they actually thought I was an 8th grader. So yeah, it was not a good time. It was just not a good time. So they say I'm gonna appreciate it when I'm older. We'll see.
It's true. It's true.
Indeed.
All right.
All right.
Well, I think if that's all the questions for you, we can let you go for now.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, if anybody has any more questions, we'll plan for another live stream some other time.
Definitely.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us, Peyton.
Yeah, no
thank you
problem.
so
I hope
much.
you guys really enjoy the film, and I hope that you guys really appreciate how much time and effort we put into it. It was so much of all of us into that film, and you know, even if there's people who don't like it or want to say anything negative, like that's perfectly fine. You're able to have your own opinion, but we just wanted to do this. This is something that we wanted to do to put out in the world and to have fun and to be just a bunch of weirdos all hanging out together, and I appreciate it so much. And I appreciate all the people I've met from it. I appreciate all the confidence it's given me and all the support you guys have given me, and I just really hope that you guys like it and that we make you guys proud.
Well, you've made us proud already.
Definitely.
Thank you. Thank you. Awesome.
Alrighty.
All right.
Bye. Alrighty, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hey. So that was super fun. We loved having Peyton join us today. We didn't know if that was something we would ever be able to do because we didn't know that live stream on YouTube had that feature.
Yeah.
So we're happy that we have this option now, especially because Peyton lives in a different town. Cassie just moved to a different state. We're just kind of broken up in a lot of different places now. So to be able to have these streams with our cast members is going to be really cool for you guys.
So one question to kind of address some of the questions you guys have asked us. First of all, Dino Geek has asked a couple of times about technical improvements in Dawn. There are some.
Yes.
We had a bigger budget. I mean, of course, it is still essentially me with one camera and a small lighting system, but it is a better lens, better lighting. I hoped, that the trailer kind of showed that it looked a little bit crisper.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's still a very, very small budget film.
Yeah. To hear exactly what we bought with that money, we'll be perfectly honest. We bought some equipment that we didn't end up using because we still need to take the time to learn how to properly use it.
It was one piece in particular.
It was one.
It wasn't like dozens of things.
We got a ton of stuff.
We got
one really, really nice camera stabilizer.
That is just.
It's gonna take years of practice.
To learn. Yeah.
But we're working on that.
We're working on that.
So that isn't something that you're gonna see immediate benefit from in Dawn.
Yeah.
But we're gonna keep making films.
Yes.
So. That was just a small chunk.
Steadicam handheld stabilizer. And anybody who's ever used a Steadicam, you know what I'm talking about. They're very, very, very tricky to use.
Yeah. And it depends on what type you're using. And it's one that's just all about proportion and weight. And it's finicky.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we bought brand new lighting equipment, a full lighting setup.
Mm-hmm.
We bought a brand new lens for the camera base that we already had. We couldn't get a new camera base because that alone would have been
exhausted the whole budget. Yep.
So a lot of the money went into paying for locations. And
Conman 1226 donation rewards we are getting ready now.
Mm-hmm.
The rough cut of the film is finished, which is why we just put out the trailer. So we're still working on refining like colorization and things like that we're going to use for the calendar.
Mm-hmm.
But we're in the process of working on that as we speak. So
Right.
pretty soon here, they should be ready to send out.
Right. We needed to wait until the release date was public because the poster that people are going to receive has the release date on it.
Yeah.
So we obviously couldn't send that out.
Yeah. And there were other
ahead of
things too,
time.
like we promised clips of the movie that obviously we couldn't release till the movie was finished.
Right.
So that's in process.
So we assure you, trust me, we have not forgotten about incentives
No.
by any stretch of the imagination. We left a chunk of the budget alone just to pay for that. So they are coming, I assure you. It's just going to be a little bit of a process to get everything ready.
Indeed.
How difficult were costumes to make? The majority of the costumes were not made, they were purchased.
Yeah.
That was also a chunk of the budget, was just purchasing costumes. But the only real costumes that were made were the Tempest ones.
Yeah.
And my mom made all of those, and they were really beautiful when they were done.
So cool.
So she did a really great job. What are your thoughts? Okay. Life is Strange 2 comes out next week, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know about everybody. The community obviously is torn. But we are very, very, very excited to see where it goes.
It looks excellent.
Very excited.
Yeah.
We think that the themes conveyed in this one are maybe even more important than the ones in...
Yeah.
I'm speaking for me.
Well, for those of you who don't live in America, you probably know America's going through some shit right now.
It's a hot mess over here.
So the themes that Life is Strange 2 covers seem very, very relevant and important. And we're very excited about that. Now, that being said, to address another thing, I have no plans to adapt Life is Strange 2.
No.
I already have the next 2 projects that I'm working on.
2 or 3.
2 or 3 projects that I'm working on in the works right now. None of them are Life is Strange related. They are all original.
Mm-hmm.
However, that doesn't mean that 10 years from now, whenever in the future, we might not come back to it. But that's not something I want you guys to hold your breath over, because I've got some other awesome projects in the work at the moment.
Don't like that.
So
yeah. And that all, we really, I know you guys have asked a lot about, like, what do you have after Dawn?
Yeah.
We're really not talking about it right now because we have a lot professionally and business-wise that we are still figuring out.
Yeah.
But just rest assured, really big things are coming. Like, really big.
Dino Geek, there will be effects added. That is just...
Yeah, the trailer was still a pretty rough cut. We didn't do any. That's raw footage, basically.
That is essentially raw footage. I made a couple of very, very small tweaks to things, but essentially that's raw footage. So.
Yeah, we're still have to do all of the effects, color correction, music, all of that. The film is together and it's in one chunk, but now it's time to polish everything.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are asking what specific scenes we're including, and we can't talk about that.
No.
Those are spoilers.
The only things you can know is what's in the trailer.
Movie. You gotta wait. So, we're not going to tell you if the Firewalk concert's in. We're not going to tell you if Farewell is included. We're not going to... Watch the movie.
Yeah.
Wait and see the movie. For almost raw footage, it looks amazing. Well, thank you. That is the benefit of a nicer lighting setup and a better lens. Like, that's what you guys helped us out with.
December 1st is the release date.
December 1st is the release date. Yep.
Indeed.
Yes. And we haven't given full details as to what the premiere is going to consist of, but basically, if you didn't hear earlier, live premiere and online premiere, same day, December 1st.
Yeah.
And there will be details coming after that. So, and a couple people have mentioned that they've been helping us out with subtitles, and we so greatly appreciate that. People from other countries, I opened up community contributions across our whole page. So anything that you want to add subtitles to, please help us out.
December 1st.
December.
12/01.
12/01.
Yep.
2018.
How evil is Damon and Dawn?
Watch the movie.
Watch the movie.
Is the entire story of the game included, or are you making your own? This we can touch.
Yeah.
Much like What If, this is an adaptation.
Yes. There are things that are true to the game, and there are things that are original.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really say if it's more or less true to the game than What If was.
I would
argue in some ways slightly more, in some ways slightly less. Like it's a little more nebulous.
There's less story to try to put into 2 hours.
Yes.
And this movie is 2 hours and 20 minutes. Oh, by the way, final cut of the movie is 2 hours and 20 minutes long, guys.
Yeah, it's 15 minutes longer than What If was. So enjoy. But yeah, I would say, I mean, frankly, the people that were mad that we made changes to Life is Strange and What If are going to be mad that we made changes in Dawn. If you didn't like the changes we made in What If,
maybe you won't, because I feel like a lot of the diehards that loved What If didn't like Before the Storm. So maybe you will like our changes. Yeah. I don't know.
Obviously, everything that we do is to try to improve it for a film and to make it work better as a movie. So...
Mm-hmm. So, and we really tried to tie a lot of the loose ends that we maybe did have to leave in What If.
Yeah.
So
we definitely listened to what people wanted in What If and tried to include some of those things in Dawn, if that's a bit of a hint. There are things that people wanted in What If, characters that were omitted, that I really tried to work into Dawn.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. 2 hours and 20 minutes.
2 hours and 20 minutes. That's not even with credits.
And that's not even with credits. It's a 2 hour and 30-minute movie.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
once the film's online, you've got all the time in the world.
Indeed, you can watch it as many times as you want.
However, in chunks.
Are there any big questions that we missed earlier? I think there are some.
I'm sure there probably are. If you guys asked us any...
Oh God, there's so many.
No, it's fine. If you guys asked... Oh boy, I can't talk. If you asked any really big questions earlier that we haven't touched on, please feel free to send them now.
Indeed.
Will Hot Dog Man be in Dawn? Hot Dog Man is a weird love affair of everyone who's worked on Life is Strange that we don't understand. So we're leaving that private inside joke for the creators.
I would almost feel like I was
intruding
if I included Hot Dog Man. I don't understand Hot Dog Man. I love him dearly, as do all Life is Strange fans.
We just don't get it.
So I feel like I don't know how to properly include Hot Dog Man.
Yeah. Are we going to have more live streams after the movie drops? Well, we're certainly going to have one probably week of, and that will be a big one with a lot of the cast members. But after that, it's very up in the air because we don't know what we're doing company-wise. After that, we're figuring that out, but stick with us.
Dino Geek, it's honestly longer because I was just able to include more of the story.
Right. We were able to include more.
Yeah.
Because the thing about having a 16-hour story and cutting it down into this is that these individual stories are longer in themselves.
Yeah. And I also, I really wanted them to be about the same length just because they're companion films. So it was also semi-deliberate. But I think there was more that I wanted to include in Dawn. It's a shorter story. It's a shorter game, but there's just as much emotional weight to it. So, plus I just enjoy, since these movies aren't going to film festivals or anything like that, we can essentially make them as long as we want. Because anybody, if you make films, you know that if you're putting movies in festivals, they have to be about an hour and a half or they don't get accepted.
Right.
But because these are just for you guys, for fans, we have some freedom to just make them long and include all the things we want to include.
Right.
And people seem to enjoy it with What If.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Someone asked us, are you starring in your own films? No, we're starting a production company.
Yeah.
Bigger.
Yeah. I act very occasionally, but not often. So.
We're acting in something right now. I mean, we haven't.
We're to play.
We're gonna play
We'll
right
play
now.
locally. Yes.
Yeah, which will be fun. A couple people have asked about the background because it's different. We're in my bedroom because we couldn't film at Carson's house, but that's my tapestry. People love it. You were all wondering about it, so I just wanted to let you see it. It's bought it on Amazon. It was like $15-$20.
As far as the soundtrack being available post-release, that's honestly kind of up to Olivia.
Yes. So we are actually planning, and I need to talk to her to confirm this, but to some extent, we're planning to make the soundtrack available at the live premiere, and I am hoping we can just sell it for her there.
Indeed.
Because she deserves to make money. She's incredibly talented.
And yes, Conman, it does have the same running time as Infinity War. I'm a pretentious, long-winded writer. But like I said, it's not that I couldn't have made it shorter if I wanted to. I just, for this particular project, I wasn't really concerned with the length of it because it is for such a specific audience that I just wanted to include everything I could and just give the Before the Storm story and obviously future projects that are going to film festivals and for a more mainstream audience will be shorter.
Mm-hmm.
But I wasn't super concerned about length for this one. So
no.
It's really only 15 minutes longer than What If was.
It is. It's not that much longer.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot, but it's really not.
Yeah.
They like the change of our Warren character in What If.
Indeed.
Cool. Yeah, that was my dog barking, not Bella. That was my dog Chisai.
Indeed.
Yeah. Thank you. To anybody that asks us if there are steamy scenes in the movie, they're 16 years old. No. It's
a very... I tried to write it as a very realistic friendship and relationship between two 16-year-old kids. So,
no.
Yeah.
Contrary to what a lot of people like to say about our movies, they're not porn.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh, that is a tough question. Do you feel more proud of Dawn or What If? So,
from a technical standpoint, I'm more proud of Dawn because I think Dawn looks better.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think Dawn is objectively probably a better film just because obviously I'm another year older. It's got a really strong cast. It's got better technical aspects.
Mm-hmm.
However, I'll always be proud of What If for what we accomplished with it.
Yeah.
That it is...
It's what created all of this.
What created all of this. So it kind of depends.
Yeah.
And you'd all be surprised how many people say things like that about our movies. There are people that obviously object to the content because Life is Strange features a lot of LGBT characters and they're not okay with that. Also, people just like to say that anything that isn't filmed on a Hollywood level camera looks like porn. It's
Which
just
is stupid. Just a dumb thing.
General insult.
Say.
So.
Okay. So, hold on. Because I know what you're about to answer. Did we make the bullet necklace ourselves? Yes, we did in What If, and we did in this movie, and we also made Rachel's feather earrings.
Indeed.
And if you follow us on Instagram, you could maybe win those items.
Hmm.
Follow us on Instagram. Link below.
Indeed. Dino Geek, am I concerned about too much going on with the movie?
Nope.
Not really.
Pacing's really solid.
Yeah. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
So
there's still less going on than in the game. Honestly,
if people don't like it, people don't like it. I do make movies to be watched, but I'm not trying to impress anybody.
We make them for us.
I enjoy. I write my movies the way that I write them.
Mm-hmm.
And that sounds pretentious, but it's just how I feel. You've got to enjoy your own work to some extent.
Mm-hmm.
So of course I'm always worried that everyone's going to hate everything I do because I'm me. But people are either going to like it or they're not.
Yeah.
And I genuinely think the people that liked What If are going to like Dawn. I think more people are going to like Dawn.
Totally fine.
So, yeah.
But yeah.
Mr. X, correct. That is very, very true. Fetishism of same-sex relationships and characters is a huge problem that we very much try to avoid.
We do.
So.
We sure do. Translate into film. Before the Storm was a little bit easier to translate into film. Just because there's less supernatural aspects, fewer supernatural aspects, and again, less content means that you can include more in a film script.
Yeah, like I said, honestly, the main reason Dawn is longer is because I really enjoyed writing it. It's just Before the Storm, playing it felt more like watching a film. So there was a lot more wiggle room to adapt it, I think, than there was with Life is Strange.
Bye, Casey.
Bye, Casey.
More people are asking if we're doing certain scenes, and we can't tell you. Watch the movie in December.
I will say, a couple of you who are asking questions about things that are and are not in the movie, look at the trailer. Look at the trailer really closely, and you'll notice a couple of the things you've asked about.
Very true. Very, very true. You will never get a DVD because we can't make a profit off of this movie.
Yeah.
So, sorry
they
about
have to
that.
exist online.
Yep.
So, I guess I just want to say, because it does seem like there are a couple of my more technical filmmaker fans that are a little concerned by some of the things that I've revealed about Dawn. There are a lot of improvements from What If from a technical standpoint.
Right.
The movie is longer because I just wanted to tell more of the story. But if you enjoyed What If, you're going to enjoy Dawn from a technical standpoint. I guess that's all I can really say about that.
We're also both a little sick. We apologize.
Yeah, that's true.
I saw 2 questions I really wanted to answer. So when we filmed the fire scene, this is not a spoiler because you see it in the trailer. It's very, very dark. Yeah. We filmed outside and it was 12:30.
Yeah, it was midnight.
Midnight, yeah. A little after by the time
we filmed
wrapped.
That scene at night.
Yeah.
So they literally just look like they're standing in void.
Right.
And which is what we wanted.
Thank you for blessing me. You're all too sweet. And somebody asked, are you guys going to start your own film company someday? That is precisely what we're working on, and that's why we can't tell you guys a whole lot about what's coming after Dawn.
Indeed.
Ha! Very scary and exciting.
And yes, I would say the fact that it's less supernatural made it easier to adapt, but it's not even just that. There's just... Chloe's story feels very much more like a standard coming-of-age story. So there were just... It felt easier to make into a film because it's a story that translates to film very well.
Right.
I would say.
Oh, the quote at the end of the trailer. That is just part of the song. We did not put that in there. But that was included in the song. It's a Sylvia Plath quote. I don't know if it's from the Bell Jar or not, but it's one of her poems. Sylvia Plath.
Ackland, I don't know what you mean, but we didn't mean...
Wait. No. We're not... Well, no. LGBT romance, absolutely, but that isn't inherently steamy or sexual.
Yes.
That's all we were trying to say.
We've been pretty upfront about the fact that, yes...
It is a love story.
Yeah, it's a love story.
It's a love story.
That Chloe and Rachel are in a relationship. It's just not... sexual because they're 16
because they're kids.
Yeah, so that's all we were trying to say. We really weren't trying to diss you personally.
Yeah. No, we're just
Dino Geek YouTube. It'll be on YouTube. So she smashed real cars in the junkyard. The real cars weren't ours, so
we didn't have permission to smash those cars.
Yeah, but the thing
we smashed things that we put in the junkyard.
Yeah. But the thing is, in the game, she doesn't smash cars either, really. So I wasn't too worried about that.
Totally fine then. Totally fine. We were just responding to the previous wording, but you're all good. No worries.
Okay.
I noticed that the play in the Dawn trailer is set during the day. Actually, when you watch it in the movie, it's evening. It's dusk.
Yeah,
The sun is
dusk.
setting.
We wanted to film it when it was kind of light out just because we didn't want, the black void that we have during the fire scene, for instance.
So actually, throughout the progression of that scene, you see it start to get darker and darker and darker. Yeah. It's 7 o'clock, the sun's setting.
Yeah. It plays out
pretty much in real time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lady Lazarus, thank you. Cool. Now we know.
Indeed.
We didn't write the song. We didn't put that quote in the end of it.
Yeah, so we actually didn't know for sure what it was from.
We just thought it was cool. You would come work for our company, Celine? Thanks. Yes. I feel like I saw
somebody said they wanted me to adapt it. I'm flattered, but it has already been adapted very well. So
it has. Indeed. I don't know. Maybe I didn't. I'm glad you guys are excited.
Yeah.
Trying to think if there's any other. I don't know. We have an IMDb page set up for the movie.
Yep.
For Dawn. So when that comes out, you guys can put a rating on there.
Indeed.
Hopefully it'll be higher than What If, but if it's not, it's okay. It's fine.
It's funny because we observed, because on IMDb you can tell who reviews your movie like by demographic.
It's very interesting.
Our movie is very unpopular among men,
like 40 to 50-year-old men.
No, like 30 to 50-year-old men. Like men aged 30 to 50 do not like What If.
No, like not at all.
In general,
they hate it.
Yeah. We're very popular with people our age, obviously.
Right.
Especially girls.
Yeah.
And like younger people, which is obviously cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How many people did we get that auditioned for the film? There were about 50 people.
Yeah, quite a few.
That auditioned, which we were very, very happy about. And there were a lot of really fantastic auditions that unfortunately we just
it's always hard to
use them. But yeah. What's the best viewing experience?
Oh God.
I see. I recommend watching Dawn with headphones or earbuds.
Yes.
Because the sound is always clearer. And like cuddling up in a blanket and like getting that screen as close as you can, like a big bowl of popcorn.
On like a rainy day.
And just like snuggling in.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have like super technical rules for watching Dawn the way that David Lynch does, because I'm not going to pretend to even be anywhere near David Lynch. But if he said
big screen with donuts and coffee, we can say small screen.
Yeah, small screen on a rainy day with headphones. Watch it like you're a character from Life is Strange.
Yeah. Definitely.
My funny is I do make horror films, so I mean, take from that what you will. But I'm like I said, I'm flattered that you think I adapt that story well. I do love it.
Very sweet.
But my current plans for future projects don't really include anything like that. Exactly.
Yeah. How many drafts of the script did we go through before we had a finalized script?
I would say I started writing and then rewriting the script at least 4 times.
Yeah. You wrote in a lot of full scenes that didn't get used.
Yeah.
Like, I know when we held the auditions, we auditioned for Elliot.
Yeah.
And Elliot is not in the movie.
Yeah.
Because in the first draft of the script, Elliot was a character, and for time purposes, we cut that.
I didn't really know what I wanted Dawn to be at first. Mm-hmm. I originally...
It was really Max-centric.
At first,
when you first started writing it.
It was very much about Chloe missing Max, was the original plot of Dawn, and Rachel was going to have more of a backseat than she did in the game.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't end up happening. Don't panic. My original ideas for Dawn were actually, I strayed a lot from the game in my original concepts.
Yeah.
Then I decided I was being pretentious and dialed that back. I mean, really, it was, like I said, the fact that I felt a more personal connection to Before the Storm, to that story. It went through a lot more variation during writing because I wasn't entirely sure how I wanted to tell it.
Yeah.
So I'm really, really, really proud of what we ended up with, though. I think it turned out really well. So
is the Chloe different from What If? Yes. When you watch this back, you'll see the first 30 minutes of this live stream. She was with us.
She was here. Yeah, it is a different Chloe.
Different Chloe. The only two characters that are played by the same actors are William and Victoria. They are the only two returning actors. Initially, we were going to have the same actor playing Frank because we love Jason Langford to death, but he unfortunately moved at the last minute and was not able to come back.
But the guy that ends up, Matt Ingebrigtsen, plays Frank in Dawn, and he does a great job.
He's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
He stepped in super last minute for us and just blew it out of the water.
Yeah, he does a great job.
So,
and he and Payton had a very good dynamic as Chloe and Frank. So
definitely. Absolutely. Favorite scene from Before the Storm. We can't say our favorite scene from Dawn, but we can say Before the Storm.
Yes.
Are Mikey, Steph, and Drew in Dawn? Yes, they are. But favorite scene from Before the Storm.
Oh God.
I haven't played it in a little while.
Favorite scene from Before the Storm would be. See, I don't want to necessarily say because there are scenes that I love from Before the Storm that aren't in the movie.
But you can say those.
My favorite scenes from Before the Storm would be.
Just say whatever your favorite one is.
I'm just gonna give top three. I'll just give top three favorite scenes. The fire, the initial, Rachel screaming at the tree. I will always love the Tempest scene and the lamppost scene. The whole bit of like them dancing under the lamppost and all that. That really gets me. Honestly, what a lot of people's favorite scenes are.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, lots of good questions. How do you know that Samantha and Nathan's side story isn't included in Dawn? The movie isn't out yet. How do you know?
Indeed.
How do you know?
Indeed.
What did you do or not do in What If that you now regret or would want to do differently? Ha ha ha
ha. What did I do that I would have done differently? I would have used a damn Steadicam.
Or at least a tripod.
A tripod, yeah. Which is another thing I will address. Even though we didn't use the really, really fancy Steadicam in Dawn, we did use a Steadicam, and it does look much better.
It does.
It looks so much better. Yeah, I would have used a Steadicam, and I would have included Joyce.
Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah, I would have included Joyce in What If.
I think that was something we've talked about a lot, that you really, really, really wanted to put a diner scene in What If.
Yeah, I tried really hard, but could never get it to fit, but I think I would have tried harder. I really wish that Joyce was in What If. But, yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, Joyce is in Dawn, and she's in the trailer.
Yeah. She does not have a Southern accent, if you can tell in the trailer, but we just decided not to make her do a Southern accent for the role, so.
So the thing that you guys obviously won't know at all when you watch the movie, but I think is incredibly important to share and is going to be huge in our community, is that a lot of the actors in this movie are local theater directors or like big top position in like local theater. Joyce and James.
The